Bob is a person of faith. I think he's motivated, energetic, highly organized, he's benevolent. Bob is a true servant leader, expects excellence out of himself, and he wants other people to have that sense of excellence in their own lives.
When people are very successful, it's easy for them to forget about other people. And it's easy for them to forget that all God's children don't have shoes. Platt is the kind of person you don't have to convince of that. He knows that. And he knows that this is something that needs to be done.
I got a call one day from a person I didn't know, Gordon Bing, who became a friend. And I told Gordon, fundraising is right down by root canals on the list of things that I want to do. Gordon is quite persistent. And he took me over to MAM's old facilities, showed me around and talked about what he thought could be done. And he convinced me, and I bought in.
Platt recognizes that he has been really fortunate. He sees his responsibility to, in turn, help others who are less fortunate. And I think that's what kind of drew him to MAM, because MAM is so good at doing that, at giving people the tools that they need and education and the support to be able to thrive and lead a productive life.
John Rasco, who is the president of MAM, introduced me to the concept of there being a change and they needing someone to help, possibly be on the board. And as a result of that conversation, and 1 hour before having heard a sermon on personal responsibility, I said yes to the possibility of being on the board.
He was influenced by people around him in the church to give back. And the more successful his company was, he kind of became a conduit for God to kind of start sharing it and helping. I just have to think it came from God.
MAM at that time was a resale shop that also generated funds that were dispersed into that community for people with problems and encountering issues in their lives.
The foundations had to be convinced not only that the mission was good, but that the structure that MAM was going to put in place was going to be sufficient to bring it to where it needed to be and make the investment worthwhile.
When Platt was doing this, everybody knew MAM is raising the bar. This is not going to be a survival act. This is going to be a flourishing act. Leadership is everything.
What we see today is a result of what Bob did. I think that him chairing the capital campaign to make sure that MAM was financially stable and carried into the future.
You performed a minor miracle, quite honestly, in raising that additional money in 2008, 2009 in the depths of the recession. And our goals were more clearly formed.
All of a sudden it became more than a resale shop. Honestly, just looking back on that beginning versus what's going on there today is just mind-boggling.
The Bible says we're to give honor to those whom honor is due. And honor is due these two men.
He's probably saying, I don't deserve this award. He deserves it. He and Platt both deserve this award.
Doesn't feel like he deserves it. There's a lot other people that are more worthy.
Platt feels the same way. I think he just doesn't like being in the spotlight.
Neither does Bob. No.
I don't think they'll really want to be out there on that stage.
No, Bob will need a cattle prod to get him out there.
Platt as well.
What do you think we take off?
That'd be a good idea, actually, but I think we have to go out there.
Well, why don't you go first?
Well, why don't you go first? I was going to let you go out there.
Let's get it over with.
All right, let's go.